For its time, the Roman Colosseum was a modern spectacle of engineering and the glory of the Roman Empire. The Colosseum was a revolutionary form of entertainment during its time to satisfy the bloodlust of the Roman people. Exotic animals from the farthest reaches of the Roman Empire were brought to give the Romans a new sense of joy after being bored with the carnage of gladiators. The towering structure placed right in the center of Rome would attract an audience from all around to see the games. The Roman Colosseum was constructed from the years 70 CE to 80 CE. Its construction was overseen by two separate emperors throughout its construction. The 10-year project was first initiated by Emperor Vespasian of the Flavian dynasty. After his death, the construction was continued by Vespasian's son, Titus. The new Colosseum was located at the very center of Rome itself, taking the place of Emperor Nero's personal lake and gardens. With this new amphitheater being located at the very center of Rome, it was needed to capture Roman culture and entertainment perfectly. It also had to be impressive enough to be worthy of its prime real estate, so they used one of the most famous and innovative pieces of Roman architecture to build it, the arch, with this ability to make the Colosseum lighter, more aesthetic, and a timeless monument to Roman accomplishment for all to see. The actual construction of the Colosseum was performed by Jewish slaves taken into slavery by Roman ransacking after Jerusalem. The Colosseum was built to a height of 160 meters and a width of 158 meters, a huge height for that time. The Colosseum was used from 80 CE to around 400 CE.
The Colosseum itself is a large ellipsoid arena. It was the largest Roman amphitheater ever built. A Roman amphitheater was created by taking two Roman theaters and placing them side by side. By doing this, the newly conceived amphitheater would take on its ellipsoid shape. It was referred to as an amphitheater from the Greek word amphitheatron, with prefix of amphi and a word theatron. The Greek word theatron translates to a place for visiting and viewing, just like a theater. But what makes this word special is the prefix of amphi, or on both sides. Traditionally, theaters are made so that the audience is all facing the same direction, at the stage, but an amphitheater is created to be viewed from both sides, at all 360 degrees. The amphitheater was built to accommodate the needs of spectators at full capacity. It was equipped with multiple latrines and food stands. The Colosseum can be compared to a modern-day stadium. There were levels of seating arrangements, and senators would get the best seats, right up front. Then, seating would be arranged from social classes all the way back to plebeians and women. They would number the seating on the tickets by gates. Similar to modern stadiums, the audience would enter through their designated gates by what their tickets said. Another feature of the Colosseum was its Valerian, a special shade that would stretch over the whole span of the Colosseum top's opening. It could be adjusted as the day passed on to provide the most shade possible. It was manned by expert sailors from the Roman Navy. The Colosseum was also equipped with a system of underground canals that could run water from a nearby aqueduct. Originally built before the Colosseum during the time of Nero and his artificial lake, they could have possibly been reconfigured for use in the arena. Later on, the Romans added what was referred to as a hypergeum. The hypergeum was a two-story structure that was used to make more entertaining events. It was a system of trapdoors and elevators. These were used to make more dramatic entrances and quick exits. The hypergeum was the backbone of the Colosseum. It was made the Colosseum so theatrical and popular. Since the hypergeum was built on the foundation of the Colosseum, the combat would take place on a false wooden floor covered with sand. The remains of the hypergeum can be still seen today, although little remains.
The Colosseum was known for many great feats. Its great walls held spectacles that may never be seen again. It held reenactments of great naval battles, also called naumachia. These battles were made possible by draining water into the floor of the Colosseum, using the system of canals connected to a nearby aqueduct. Although the water may have been shallow, it was still enough to float boats in. These may have happened only 4 or 5 times, but they were huge and not to be missed. The first occurrence was in honor of Caesar's triple victory in Egypt. Naval battles were an interesting event, but not a common one. The most common events that were held were gladiatorial combat.
Ready! Fight!
1v1 me, mate!
Bring it on, homie!
Take that!
Stop the video.
I'ma kill you! No, you! Time out, dude! I said time out! Time in! Fool! This isn't even my final form!
Finish him.
Say your line!
Do it.
Do it now!
Do it now.
It is not the way of the Jedi!
Do it.
Animal combat.
My... Are you serious? That's it? Come on, attack me! I got peanut butter on my face. Carmela, come on. Hey, Carmela. Oh no! That was disappointing.
Public executions. A day's events were structured in the following. Animal combat would take place in the morning, then around noon, they would hold public executions. The most popular event, gladiatorial combat, was saved for the last. The gladiators would fight for the entertainment of the people and the emperor. These gladiators were often prisoners of war and criminals. They would be put into class systems, each having a different weapon and armor. They would be pitted against themselves, or even against beasts, including lions and elephants. The Colosseum began to lose its popularity around 404 CE, due to a common shift in public opinion. The public began to lose its taste in the events that it had to offer. Not long after, Rome officially fell to nomadic tribes and was destroyed. So, it became deserted. As the years passed on, locals would harvest materials from the Colosseum, because it meant nothing to them. There are still buildings in Rome today that have been made with pieces of the Colosseum standing. This is how it was taken on its modern day appearance.